Good evening, Facebook. How are you? I hope you've all had lovely days in the sun. I have taken well advantage of the nice weather and been sat outside working, which has been lovely. I've got the pool, we've got like one of them big paddling pools. The boys have been playing in that today, so it's been nice. So tonight we're talking about, hey Craig, how are you? Hi Sarah. So now we're going to be talking about, so what you want, give it. And sometimes giving to receive can have a negative connotation, can't it? Because, you know, we've all met those people who they're only generous so they can get something back from you. They only do stuff so they can get things back from you. They do favors for you, and then they expect favors back. That's not what I'm talking about. Hey Claire, hey Abby, hi Victoria. Hi everyone, how are you? Give me a heart, give me a like, one of them little thingy ones. So this was inspired by a live I watched by somebody who I really admire. Hi Nikki, how are you? Looking very hot in your profile pic, babes. Look at them lips. It was inspired by a live that I watched by somebody that I love. Hey Carol. Oh, thanks for the hearts. And it was about communication and how arguing and how to communicate well so you get what you want, basically. Hi Amphi, Debbie, hi everybody. And so it inspired me to sort of talk about this and to highlight a few things that might help you out. So the first thing I want to talk about is, do you feel like you're not being heard? So us women, we love reciprocity. That means we love to feel heard. We like to feel that we're engaging with people in order to get for a mutual benefit. Like women love that. That's why we like talking and we, you know, love a good debate. Thanks, babes. I've been in my gym kit all day. Did I do a workout? No. I just put my gym kit on because it was the easiest thing to go to the school run, and then meant to do the workout when I got back, but failed. I've been a bit coffee, so I'm starting my week 5 of my workout thing on Monday, and I'm going to redo the first 3 days. But thank you. So I've had a shower and a wash just for you lot. Isn't that nice? Anyway, thank you. So I was inspired to talk about this because, oh my God, it's so relevant. Putting the world to rights. Absolutely. Hi, Amanda. Yeah, it's so relevant for so many people, and I was just like listening to this live going, oh my God, like this is so good. And it sort of leads on to the, you know, giving to receive. But the first thing I want to talk about is being heard. And put your hand up or give me a 1 or a heart or whatever if you think you're a good listener. Oh, I've just saw an angry face. I hope somebody pressed that by accident. If you didn't, love you anyway. So yeah, have you ever, do you think you're a good listener? Like, would you say that you are great at hearing what somebody's saying and you're a good listener? Because I always, hey Jennifer, hi Jill, I always class myself as a good listener. And now obviously I do it for a living, right? So I have to be a good listener now. So I have to listen between the lines at what people aren't saying, because sometimes what someone isn't saying is just as important as what they are. Hey Carla. Hey Stephanie. And so but I've always classed myself as a good listener. However, who does this? So when in a conversation with somebody hi Philippa, hey Charlotte, Chris, Stephanie. So who, when in a conversation, is thinking, Abby, listening helps to understand the other person and their business. Absolutely, absolutely. However, who does this? So you're in a conversation and someone's telling a story and you're hearing what they're saying, but actually what's going on in your head is, what story have I got that's relevant to this that I can jump in and tell next? Who does that? Who does it where they are, okay, this is a heated argument. Hi Lorraine. Hi, Mom. Hi, Helen. Nice to see everybody. Thank you for coming on. So, yeah, who gets into story tennis when they're talking to somebody? You know, we all do that. If you say you don't do that, you're lying to yourself and everybody else. Sometimes, not always, yeah. So we all do it, don't we? We get into conversations and we're just playing story tennis. And those people who are really bad at this aren't even hearing what you're saying. They're just, and you know the people, we've all been in conversations with them, and we have these conversations and they just overpower the conversation. They try and jump in all the time. Their story's always bloody better than yours. You know, if you've done it once, they've done it 4 times, you know, one of them. So annoying. Yes, all the time, Philippa. So we all think we're good listeners, but actually, are we? And I think a good listener is somebody who can sit and listen to a story and not share their story. If you are really good at listening, if you are really giving somebody the time and being there for them 100%, then you let them tell their story and you don't tell yours. Because it's not about you in that situation. I do it and then regret it, at least I know, suppose, absolutely. And we all do it, like no one is immune from this. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with it if it's just a light-hearted conversation over a cup of tea and a cake, you know, a bit of cake, or over a Prosecco, or you're out with the girls, that's how it works. So there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. But when it starts to, the reason I'm building up to, when you are in a conflicting conversation with somebody. Hi, Tina. So we'll use a partner as an example, right? So, hey, Claire, congratulations on the job. Yay. So when you're in a conflicting argument with somebody, so when let's use your partner, or your brother or your sister or your kids or whatever, and there's nothing more annoying than not feeling heard. So when you're talking over each other, I think it depends on the situation. If you're friends and sharing stories, exactly, Jennifer, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's fine a lot of the time. And I'm not really talking about jumping in with stories. What I'm talking about now is feeling heard, and how frustrating it is when you're trying to communicate something and you think you're right, and you're sharing your viewpoint and the other person's sharing their viewpoint. And my point is that whenever that's happening, whenever someone's trying to make the other person wrong, so if you're trying to be right and make the other person wrong, you've lost already. And so what this live was about, and I was inspired to do this, was about how to communicate with somebody. So you really, hi Rose, and communicate with somebody so you are getting the best. It's a win-win situation, and sort of how to diffuse it. I've actually written a blog on it today, so I'll share that, and it goes into a bit more detail. But when you're not feeling heard, it's super frustrating. And so what happens is that we get this one-upmanship, and nobody is listening to each other. Like, no one is listening to the other person. I'm right, no, you're right, and I'm right, no, you're right. And what I want to share on that is that it's not a competition. I friggin' hate that. Yeah, me too. I hate it. But we do it. We all get sucked into it. And I'm not saying I'm perfect on this. However, I have massively improved on this, and this is how I've done it. So what I understand now, doing what I do, is that everyone's right. Because everybody has their own viewpoint, perception, upbringing, social conditioning. Everybody has their view of the world, and their view of the world is as unique as a fingerprint. Everybody looks at the world through their eyes. And so wouldn't it be incredible if in a relationship that we understood that and set the intention? Hey Amy, I haven't seen you for ages. Hope you're well. Love to your missus. You know, if we set the intention of coming out in a win-win situation, then hi Gemma, hey Lisa, bloody hell, loads of people on tonight. So if we go into a conflict, setting the intention of a win-win situation, so they so you're shutting up. You're just keeping your mouth shut because you're the first domino. This is a quote that came from the live I was watching. You are the first domino. Whenever in an argument, whenever in conflict, you are in it as well. And so you always have to look to how you are being and how you're making that situation worse, because you are the only person you've got control over, because you haven't got control over the other person. So this sort of leads into, in order to get what you want, you've got to give it. But I'm coming to that in a minute. So what I'm talking about is that if we go into a debate, or if you, especially if you have the same row with your partner all the time, like this is really common, like people just always row about the same thing. It's usually money, the kids, sex, whatever. And so if you're getting into a row about the same thing all the time, you're in that row too. So you can't be pissed off that you're always having this same row, because you are involved in it too. And this is something that I have do still sometimes. And so what she was saying is that if you go in with the intention of a win-win, by shutting up and just hearing what they're saying and appreciating that even though you don't agree with it, that's their point of view and they are right in their world and you are right in your world. So you're both right. And the minute you try and make someone else wrong, you've lost. So, hi Lindsay, hey Liano. Steph, I hope I said that right. Liano, yeah. And so the minute you the minute you're trying to make somebody else wrong, you've lost. And so I've tried this, and I said, and so the way you sort of get around it is like, look, okay, the way this conversation is going, it's not going to end on a win-win. So how about I appreciate what you're saying, and you're right from your point of view, and I'm right from my point of view. Shall we find another way to resolve this, or should we just leave it? Because how many arguments would that end? Like, and especially the stupid ones, like, you said you'd put the bins out. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. Well, and all that crap that we all argue about, those stupid, bickery little things that we argue about. If we just appreciated that everybody, and this links to the freedom one that I did the other week, is that if you just appreciated that that person has the freedom to judge this situation. Carla, I can't believe you're talking about this. I'm going through this since yesterday. Haha, I must have known I needed to do this. Babes, it came to me energetically. Yeah, so brilliant. I'm glad it's helping. So imagine the arguments that would save if you go, do you know what, mate? I don't agree with you at all, but you are right in your world and I'm right in my world. So let's just drop it, or let's find another solution. Because we are the only person we can control in that situation. So in order for us to feel heard, we have to be prepared to hear the other person. And we've also got to let go of our need to be right by making the other person wrong. So in that situation, everybody is right according to their beliefs, their situation, their upbringing, everything that's happened to them creates a set of beliefs and a set of responses to stuff. That's what people are like, right? Hi, Sonia. Oh, lovely to see you. That's how we work, right? So it's virtually impossible to have this kind of debate with somebody and it end well. It never does. And especially me and Mark, I always talk about him, bless him. But when we're in this locked state, he doesn't even hear what I'm saying. And I'm like, just listen to me, just listen to me. Because in that moment, we make ourselves more important. No, I'm right. No, you're right. No, I'm right. No, you're. And it's just pointless. So I'm going to move on to the next point, but I want you to think about that and just think, do you know what? The next time this sort of situation arises, take a deep breath and just go, okay, he thinks he's right. I think I'm right, and we're both actually right. So listen, this ain't going well. This argument isn't going to end well. So how about we just stop it? I'll appreciate that you think you're right. You can appreciate that I think I'm right. Let's either find another way to resolve it, or should we just drop it? Done. Is this always possible? No. But if we have the intention, or if we're just aware that actually this person just thinks they're right, because that they are right in their world, It's not on they're not on the same planet as me. And you may think your planet is more right. But if you just let go of your need to be right and understand that everybody's looking at it from a different point of view, and just say, do you know what? And if it's one of them things that's really no point arguing about, is just let it go. And trust me, a more harmonious household will ensue. I've actually done it tonight. I was like, do you know what? This conversation is not going anywhere. I'm just going to leave, because if I stay here, we're going to end up bickering over something stupid, like really stupid. Anyway, so that's about not being heard. So do you feel like you're not appreciated? Are you not feeling loved enough? Do you feel like no one's listening to you? Do you feel like, I'm just looking at my notes here, do you feel like life is full of arseholes that are out to get you unless you protect yourself? I'm that annoying person that just won't engage in arguing. Yeah, and that's amazing. I wish I was that person, and I'm so not. But I am now, because I've healed. That can be really annoying, especially if you're the person who does engage in arguments and this person won't engage in arguments. That even the silence is just as annoying as them coming back like this. Anyway, but yeah, so what I want to say on this subject is that if you're lacking something in your life, whether that's being heard, feeling loved, I'm getting serious now, feeling loved, feeling unappreciated, again, we are the first domino. You are the only person that can do something about that. So ask yourself this question: am I giving enough love to this person? Am I showing them that I love them? Am I actively, hey Holly, how are you, babes? Am I actively showing this person love? And the reason, and this is quite a serious one, this one, because the reason I'm saying that is because people who find it difficult to show love often feel they don't get enough love, and therefore they don't show love because they think, well, I'm not going to show it to you because I'm protecting myself from getting hurt, right? So that's the general thing. However, if you've got two people, hey Lucy, if you've got two people in a relationship that both are frightened of getting hurt, so don't show each other love, and then both feel unappreciated and both feel unloved, guess what happens? It ends, or it goes wrong, or they're fighting. And the only way, and I'm not saying this is easy, but the only way to get more love, hey Michael, wow, there's a blast from the past. Not seen Michael for about 15 years. How are you, dude? So the only way to really, really get love is to show it. And that means being vulnerable, and it means putting yourself out there. But nothing beautiful, no beautiful relationship is achieved, and no great relationship without vulnerability. I mean, most of you that know me well will know. Hi, Michelle. Everybody knows who knows me well how much I love Brené Brown, and Brené Brown is a vulnerability and shame researcher. She researches this subject, and she's written umpteen books on it. Hey Tish, how are you? The biggest question I have on this is, what does showing love look like? Surely it's different for different people. It is, and there is something called love languages. And once you identify your love language, it's really brilliant to do in a couple. So the love languages are, answer these questions. So do you need, I've got really notes, sorry. Nice. Do you need to hear I love you? That's one. So you need to hear the words in order to feel loved, right? Do you need to be touched? No. Do you need to feel physical contact to feel loved? Do you need to be bought things? Do you need to be bought things or taken places to feel loved? And that's not as shallow as it sounds. And then there's a fourth one, which has escaped me. So it's hearing. If anyone knows what the fourth one is, feel free to chip in. I wasn't planning to talk about this, so it's just off the top of my head. So it's hearing the words, feeling, taken places and bought things, and something else. Anyway, I'll find out and I'll put it in the notes. But basically what you do is identify your love language. So my love language is touch. Like, I need a hug. I want my hand to be held. I'm a tactile person. Anyone who knows me will know that's true. So that's how I like to be shown love. I like somebody to not be able to walk past me without nudging me, or, you know, that's how I feel loved. Mark, get ready, is taken places and bought things. Now that's not shallow. What that means is that the way he feels loved is that if I'm away, or if I do something, it doesn't have to be expensive, it doesn't have to be, but it means I'm thinking of him out when I'm not with him. It means that I'm doing something because I want to show him love. And that's what makes him feel loved. Now, imagine if I assumed, and this is what most people do, most people assume that the person that they're with's love language is the same as theirs, because they've got no idea that there's love languages even exist. So in order for me to show love to him, if I'm cuddling him all the time, which he doesn't really need, he's not feeling loved, because that's not his love language. So once you understand, and I have actually written a blog on this, which I will post in the things, because it's got all the love languages, how to work it out. Ask your partner which one resonates the most with them, and then you will be able to show love to them in the way that they feel it, and they will be able to show love to you in the way that you feel it. Do you see what I mean? Because if he came home and just bought me something and put it on the side and didn't come give me a kiss or a cuddle, then I'd be like, that doesn't mean anything. I don't feel loved. I wouldn't say that because I'm not a cow, but you know what I mean? I'm just being so for the example. And if it was his birthday and I just gave him a big old hug, he might feel like I've not really appreciated him. Do you see what I mean? So that's how you show it, is you show it in the way that they want to feel it. And you only get to know that if you ask. And you only get to know that if you tell them. And so you can't expect somebody to, and this is why people get it wrong. This is why some people, they buy, hey Alex, no, how are you? You'll get men who shower their girlfriends. I mean, J-Lo wrote a song about it, you know what I mean? What's it called? If you're gonna play this, don't. Yeah, that song, she wrote a song about it. So basically that, you know, the guy's showering with gifts, and she's like, I don't want gifts, I want a hug, I want a cuddle. Do you know what I mean? So there's a whole thing on it, babe. Amphi, I'll post the link to the blog in that, you can read it. It's really fascinating. There's a whole book written about it. But once you understand someone's love language, and then you can communicate them in the way that they feel loved, then they feel appreciated, and then they give it back. So this ties in lovely. Thanks for asking that question. That was an awesome question, because what that does is that ties in beautifully to the whole subject, is that in order to receive, you have to give. If you want more people to be kind, you have to be kind. You have to be a kind person in order for people to be kind to you. If you aren't feeling appreciated, how much are you appreciating them? Because sometimes we sit on our bloody high horses, don't we? And we're like, I'm not being appreciated. He doesn't. Are you appreciating him? I will let you know what the book is, babes. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's called Love Languages. So just have a look on Amazon, but yeah, it's called Love Languages. Hi, Maxine. See, I love gifts, cuddles, and compliments. So you're a bit of a mix, Lucy, which is nice. And we're all a mix. We all like a bit of everything, but there will be one that is really predominant for you. There will be one that, you know, if you didn't get that, if you were to take one of those away, which one would you feel the most? I suppose that's the best way of finding out. But appreciating is a really, really big one, because if you're not saying thank you, if you're not appreciating your partner, and do you know what? I see this a lot, like people who've been in relationships for a long time, it's sort of like almost cool to like take the piss out of each other all the time. And for some couples that really works. But if there's no appreciation in that, then it's just having the piss taken out of you, and just, it gets a bit boring after a bit. And, you know, me too, Luce, all day long. So there has to be a point where you are appreciating the other person in order for them to appreciate you. Because if you regularly always thank them and say, do you know what, thanks for doing that, I really appreciate it. Or thank you for that, you know, that was really nice of you to do that. Hey, Haley, hey, Maria. it was really nice of you to do that for me today, and oh, thanks for thinking of me, then they will start to appreciate you back. But what happens is when no one's appreciating anybody, their stalemate happens, and it's just like, well, I'm not doing that for him. Why would I do that for him? He doesn't do it for me. What? Like, if that's the case, then you shouldn't be together. Like, hey, Sam, oh my God, like loads of like Southern beauties on my live tonight. How are you? We need to catch up. So yeah, what's the point in that? Like, shit relationships are us. Like, it's not good enough to be in a relationship and be constantly like bickering and pulling faults on each other. That's not what it is. Like, this person's meant to be your best friend. They're meant to be the person that you've chosen to spend your life with. Like, it's just not good enough. And it's never too late to change that. And I think, I've seen big changes in people's relationships just from changing that one thing, just from saying, do you know what? I made the mistake of being overly independent, refusing offers to help, and then there isn't a chance for them to be appreciated. Absolutely. And that's a self-protection thing. And we all do that. Hey, Ollie. We're all trying to protect ourselves. But from what? Like, what is the worst that can happen? And I know that, we've all been through pain. We've all had shit relationships. We've all had people let us down. We've all had this, we've all had pain. But we're all right for it. And one of the things that was on this live, which is a genius analogy, which I'll finish on because I've realised I've been jabbering on for longer than normal, is that your heart, right? So when you go to the gym, right? You work out, and in order to make your muscles bigger, you have to tear them and then they repair stronger, right? That's how it works, yeah? What is your heart? Your heart's a muscle. So this is all about emotional intelligence. So your heart is a muscle. It can't break. And every time that you go through some heartache, you come out the other side stronger. So think about the two worst things that have ever happened to you. In hindsight now you've got the benefit of hindsight. Are you a better person because of that thing? And give me a heart if you agree. Are you a better person? Are you more, have you grown more? Have you experienced more? Have you got a better outlook on life because of those bad things that happened to you? Of course. Nothing, and that, it's a bit of a lame cliche, but what doesn't kill us make us stronger. It's true. And so what people do is they try and avoid pain at all costs. Oh, I'm not going to give this person my heart because it might get broken again. I'm not going to show this person how much I love them and risk getting my heart broken. Well, what's the alternative? Like, what is the alternative? Being miserable all your life? Like, being lonely? Never feeling like complete vulnerability with somebody else? Like, that's what I think love is. Like, Simon Sinek had a brilliant quote about it. He said, love, it's not his quote, but it's a quote that he heard that he loved. He said, love is knowing that somebody else has the power to destroy you and trusting they'll never do it. Love that. So the whole point, hi Rebecca, hope you had a wicked time in Stockholm. Hey Natasha. So my point is that if you want a fulfilled, happy, incredible life full of joy and love and companionship and everything, you have to be prepared to put your neck on the line for that. And you cannot, it's like, oh God, what's that film that's popped into my head? I'm rambling a bit now, but where, what is it? Is it a film? No, Lauryn Hill's album. There's like a little excerpt of a children's classroom and the teacher, Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, and the great album, and the teacher is saying, so in a relationship, how do you think the split should be? Should it be 50-50, like he gives 50 and she gives 50, or he or she and she? And somebody says 49% because to 51 because you could almost always be prepared to add that bit more. Both should be 100%. That's the answer. Both people should be prepared to give 100% to that relationship. And you must be prepared. If you want more kindness, more love, more appreciation in your life, you must be prepared to give it 100% in order to receive it. And if you give it and you don't receive it, then you are in control of that situation. And then you have a choice. Do I choose to stay here and carry on being appreciated even though I am giving 100% of myself, or do I cut my losses and go? And for some of us, that was the answer. And I know there's other people on this call who have made that same decision. And so I'm going to leave on that. So if you feel like you're not being heard, you're not being appreciated, you're not being loved, you're not feeling people aren't listening to you, that everybody's out to get you, then the first and only person you can control is you. You are the first domino. So make decisions to play a bit more full out, give a little more, go all in, like just go all in. What is the worst that can happen? You'll get through it. You'll get through it. Anyway, I've rambled a bit, and I've jumped about on subjects a little bit, but I think that was, yeah, your heart's a muscle. The more you work it out, the stronger it gets. So just go in for it and just see what you get in return. And just as a little experiment, like this week, pick one of those things: love, appreciation, being heard, and be that to the person in your life. Give them more appreciation this week. Show them some more love. Do the love languages exercise. I'll post the blog in the comments. Do the love languages exercise. I'd love to hear your feedback, what your language is compared to theirs, what you think their language is, and it might not be that, because I didn't think Mark's would be what he said. So do that, and then just pick that one thing to do this week for the next 7 days, and just do a little bit more and give a little bit more and see what the response is. And I'd love to hear what your experiences is. Anyway, I'm off. I'm off to watch Game of Thrones, because I've got into Game of Thrones and we're now on series 5, and we've sort of been not getting to bed till midnight, but I love it. Anyway, so thanks for that. Thanks for all the comments, interaction. I love it. If you've got anything you want me to talk about, anything you want me to cover, please inbox me. If you want to join the Facebook group, I'll put the link also in the comments. I'm going to be doing live Q&A at the end of the month in reference to all of my lives during the month. So if you've got a specific problem that you need some guidance on, a bit of coaching on, or you've got something that you want to iron out, then I'll be in the group doing that live Q&A, and it will be a more interactive thing in regards to you can ask questions and stuff like that. So I'll put the comment in the box. Thanks for listening. Thanks for attending. I love you all. And also, if you know somebody that needs to hear this information, then please feel free to tag them or share it privately. And just it's good to have, sometimes people need to hear a message from a complete stranger, and it just might be the thing that makes a difference. So thank you. See you later. Bye.